A gentle invitation understanding Buddhism. Buddhism is a path of peace and understanding. It invites us to look deeply within ourselves and at the world around us. Many people think Buddhism is a religion, and for some it is. But it can also be seen as a practical philosophy, a way to cultivate inner calm and wisdom in our daily lives. It began many centuries ago in India, with a man who sought answers to the deep questions of human suffering. His journey and his discoveries form the heart of what we call Buddhism. This path is not about complicated rituals or blind faith, it is about direct experience and gentle transformation. The teachings of the Buddha, the Awakened One, are like a map. They guide us towards understanding the nature of our own minds and the causes of our unhappiness. They show us that freedom from suffering is possible for every one of us. This freedom is not found in changing the world outside, but in changing how we perceive and react to it. It is a journey inward, a journey of mindfulness, compassion, and deep looking. Buddhism is a journey, not a destination, and every step taken with mindfulness is a step towards greater understanding and compassion for all beings. The story of Buddhism begins with a prince named Siddhartha Gautama. He was born in a small kingdom in what is now Nepal around 2,500 years ago. His father, King Suddhodana, wanted to protect his son from all forms of suffering and hardship. So, Siddhartha grew up surrounded by luxury, beauty, and pleasure. He lived in magnificent palaces, enjoyed the finest foods, music, and gardens. He was shielded from the harsh realities of life that existed outside the palace walls. Siddhartha was a thoughtful and compassionate young man, even amidst the splendors of his sheltered life. He married a beautiful princess named Yasodhara, and they had a son named Rahula. For many years he lived the life his father had planned for him, a life of ease and contentment. Yet, deep within him, a sense of unease began to stir. He felt that there must be more to life than fleeting pleasures and material comforts. Despite his father's best efforts to shield him, Siddhartha eventually encountered what are known as the four sights. He saw an old man, a sick person, a corpse, and a wandering ascetic. At the age of 29, he chose to leave his palace, his family, and his royal life behind to find the end of suffering for himself and for all beings. After leaving the palace, Siddhartha embarked on a long and arduous spiritual journey. He sought out the most respected spiritual teachers of his time, learning their philosophies and practicing their methods of meditation and asceticism. For 6 years, he subjected himself to extreme austerities, including fasting almost to the point of starvation. He believed that by punishing his body, he could purify his mind and attain liberation. However, these extreme practices did not lead him to the answers he sought. He realized that neither the path of sensual indulgence he had known in the palace, nor the path of severe self-denial he was now practicing, led to true understanding or freedom from suffering. There had to be another way, a middle way between these two extremes. He decided to abandon the path of extreme asceticism and began to nourish his body again. Siddhartha then sat down beneath a large fig tree, later known as the Bodhi tree, in a place called Bodh Gaya. He made a firm resolution not to arise from his meditation until he had found the truth he was seeking, the end of all suffering. He sat in deep meditation, focusing his mind with unwavering determination. As the morning star rose on the horizon, after a long night of profound meditation, Siddhartha experienced a great awakening. He attained enlightenment and became the Buddha, the Awakened One. His heart was filled with immense compassion for all beings still caught in the cycle of suffering. After his enlightenment, the Buddha hesitated to teach. He wondered if others would be able to understand the profound truths he had discovered. However, out of great compassion, he decided to share his insights to help others find the path to liberation. He traveled to the deer park in Sarnath, near Varanasi, and delivered his first sermon. In this sermon he expounded the Four Noble Truths, which form the very foundation of Buddhist teachings. The first noble truth is the truth of suffering, or dukkha. This does not mean that life is only pain and misery. Buddhism acknowledges joy and happiness. However, dukkha refers to a deeper, more pervasive sense of dissatisfaction and unease that underlies all conditioned existence. It includes obvious suffering like physical pain, sickness, old age, and death. It also includes the stress and frustration of not getting what we want, getting what we don't want, and the impermanence of things we cherish. Understanding this truth is the first step towards healing. It is important to look deeply at this first truth without fear or aversion. Section 5, The End of Suffering, the Promise of Nirvana. The second noble truth is the truth of the origin of suffering, or samudaya. Having understood that suffering exists, the Buddha then points to its cause. He taught that the primary cause of dukkha is craving or thirst, known in Pali as tanha. This craving takes many forms. There is the craving for sensual pleasures, the craving for existence, and the craving for non-existence. These cravings are deeply rooted in ignorance, our misunderstanding of the true nature of reality. The third noble truth is the truth of the cessation of suffering, or nirodha. This is the good news in the Buddha's teaching. It states that there is an end to suffering, and this end is attainable. When craving is extinguished, the fuel for suffering is removed, and we can experience a state of profound peace, freedom, and liberation. This state is known as nirvana, which literally means to extinguish or to blow out, like blowing out a flame. Nirvana is not a heavenly realm or a place one goes to after death. It is a state of mind, a way of being that can be experienced here and now. Section 6. The Noble Eightfold Path, Steps Towards Wisdom and Virtue. The fourth noble truth is the truth of the path to the cessation of suffering, or magga. This truth outlines the practical way to achieve the end of suffering and realize nirvana. This path is known as the Noble Eightfold Path. It is not a sequence of steps to be followed one after another, but rather 8 interconnected aspects of life that should be cultivated simultaneously. It is often called the middle way because it avoids the extremes of sensual indulgence and severe asceticism. The Eightfold Path is divided into 3 main categories: wisdom, panna, ethical conduct, sila, and mental discipline, samadhi. The first 2 factors of the path fall under the category of wisdom. The very first is right understanding, samadhi. This means understanding the 4 noble truths, the nature of suffering, its cause, its cessation, and the path leading to its cessation. It also involves understanding key Buddhist concepts like impermanence, anicca, non-self, anatta, and dependent origination, paticca-samuppada. Right understanding is like having a clear map. It shows us where we are, where we want to go, and how to get there. It is the foundation for the entire path. The second factor of wisdom is right thought or right intention, sammasankappa. Section 7. The Noble Eightfold Path, Cultivating a Focused Mind. Continuing with the category of ethical conduct, sila, within the Noble Eightfold Path, the fourth factor is right action, sammakamanta. This refers to wholesome physical actions. It means abstaining from killing or harming any living beings, abstaining from stealing or taking what is not freely given, and abstaining from sexual misconduct. Right action encourages us to live in a way that respects life, respects the property of others, and promotes healthy relationships. The fifth factor, also under ethical conduct, is right livelihood, samma ajiva. This means earning a living in a way that is honest, ethical, and does not cause harm to oneself or others. We should avoid occupations that involve killing, deceit, exploitation, or the trading of weapons, intoxicants, or poisons. Right livelihood encourages us to choose work that is beneficial, or at least not harmful, and to conduct our business with integrity and fairness. The final 3 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path fall under the category of mental discipline, samadhi. The sixth factor is right effort, samavayama. This is the energetic will to prevent unwholesome states of mind from arising, to overcome unwholesome states that have already arisen, to cultivate wholesome states of mind that have not yet arisen, and to maintain and perfect wholesome states that are already present. It involves a balanced and sustained effort, not too lax and not too strained. Right effort is the diligent practice of transforming our mind, weeding out negative mental habits and cultivating positive ones like kindness, joy, and equanimity. Section 8. Breathing in, breathing out. The practice of meditation and mindfulness. Meditation and mindfulness are central practices in Buddhism, integral to cultivating the mental discipline aspects of the Eightfold Path, particularly right mindfulness and right concentration. Meditation, in its many forms, is a way to train the mind, much like we train the body. It helps us to develop calmness, clarity, and insight. One of the most fundamental meditation practices is mindfulness of breathing, anapanasati. We simply bring our gentle attention to the natural rhythm of our breath, noticing the in-breath and the out-breath. This simple act anchors us in the present moment, away from the distractions of past regrets or future worries. Mindfulness is the energy of being aware and awake to the present moment. It is not just something we do when sitting on a cushion, it is a way of living. We can practice mindfulness while walking, eating, washing dishes, or listening to another person. When we eat mindfully, we are truly present with our food, noticing its colors, textures, and tastes. When we walk mindfully, we are aware of the contact of our feet with the earth, the movement of our body, and the sights and sounds around us. This continuous awareness helps us to live more deeply and to appreciate the wonders of life that are available in each moment. The goal is to develop a mind that is clear, calm, and compassionate. Section 9. A Light for Today. Buddhism's relevance in our modern world. In our fast-paced world, Buddhism offers timeless wisdom. Its emphasis on mindfulness and compassion provides an antidote to stress and disconnection. By being present and observing our thoughts, we cultivate inner peace and resilience. Buddhism's teachings on interconnectedness encourage kindness and empathy, fostering a sense of shared responsibility. Ultimately, Buddhism offers a path to wisdom and compassion, leading to a more meaningful life. True happiness comes from inner transformation, not external achievements. The Buddha's teachings continue to offer guidance and hope for a compassionate humanity. Did you enjoy this video? If so, like and subscribe.